And welcome to December's TADSAW's Facebook live from San Antonio, Texas at Lambda Library. It's a balmy 55 degrees out here, a little bit cool, a little bit of wind, but the sun's out, and as long as the sun's out, we've got hopes of having a really great day. So I just want to welcome everybody to our TADSAW Facebook Live. Thank you for joining us. Bringing you up to date on some statistics. Right now, we're at 1,547 teams the year since we started. 1,067 male teams and 480 female teams. So we're getting ready to hit a milestone with our 500th female veteran team very shortly, probably right after the first of the year, probably by about March 2025. That'll be a good way to start the new year. We've got 13 Train the Dog Save a first responder teams, 72 Train the Dog Save a family member teams, 174 Vietnam veteran teams. So we're doing well. We should be hitting 200 Vietnam veterans hopefully maybe next year. 59 TADSAW teams, Train the Dog Save a Child, civilian or community member teams. So everybody's doing well. We're getting a lot of interest on all our programs. It seems that maybe they think TADSAW is the right way to choose because it's a participant-trained service dog program, and we can destigmatize that PTSD that everybody's afraid of. So we're worried about because we should be talking about mental well-being, not mental health, mental health. So if you have any questions, you always can call me. You know, if you have friends that you know or relatives that could possibly use a service dog to improve their quality of their life, tell them about us and have them just give me a call. Remember, my number is 210-643-2901, or you can go to the TADSAW website and look it up. So far this year, we've had 86 medical alert service dog teams throughout the country. So that's quite a feat for our trainers, the dogs, and their handlers, their veterans, their clients that are doing the training. So thank you all to all you've made TADSAW a very successful program for this year. Uh, let's see. Yesterday, I had a very downer phone call. One of our teams was traveling from Louisiana to Florida, and she made the first part of her trip very easily with her service dog. And in Florida, Delta decided to pull, "Where's your airline travel permit with your service dog?" And it just befuddled her because she didn't know anything about it. And the people at Delta were really nasty about it. So I'm not mind saying it's Delta Airlines that caused this problem, but this female veteran broke down and was crying, and he couldn't get hold of herself because of she was being, ridiculed for making believe it was a service dog. I mean, if they just kind of put their heads together at Delta or pulled their heads out from wherever they were, they would have seen this one was visually, distressed over the whole fact about this paperwork that she's supposed to have. But anyway, long story short, you can get it on the paper, you can put it in your phone, you don't need it because on paper, if they turn the paper over, it says that owner-trained dogs have the ability, and airline representatives are not to harass people about not having the paperwork. They're supposed to just go and let them go. Don't make it that they had to have it on file and things like that. So if you're flying and you want to check with your airline company, go ahead and check. But go and tell them that they better have the paperwork there because they can do it at the gate. It doesn't have to be on file. And really, when you look at it, there's no reason why anybody should be harassed when they're trying to go home to visit family for the holiday vacations. So, like I said, if you're traveling, make sure you do carry your rabies vaccination certificate, because that is one thing they may want to see. So have that, and you'll be fine. But like I said, if you have any problems, you call me from the airport when you're there at the front with the desk clerk, and we'll get it all taken care of, and we're not going to let this happen again. This is an atrocity by Delta Airlines. So if you all fly Delta, you may want to call Delta up and tell them how happy you are with the way they treat their customers. All it takes is a bunch of customers not buying tickets through them, and they'll start understanding that you don't harass people when they're trying to travel. But she got on the plane, so she got home to her family just with a lot of incidents that didn't need to happen. So that's one thing going into the holidays. The other thing is a lot of people want to know, how does a dog work? How does my service dog work? How does it know what it's doing? Why is this program different? Well, I guess the first thing I wanted to explain to you is, oops, I lose all my paperwork. See, the wind is blowing out here. It's just not my hot air. But anyway, I'm going to make this a very instant, kind of a simple thing. I don't need that paper now anyway. That was the airline deal. It belongs where it is in the garbage. Uh, anyway, we're going to talk about how you get triggered for your medical conditions, whatever your medical condition is. And why am I holding up my hand? The reason I'm holding up my hand is because I'm going to explain this to you. Very simple. Okay, whether you have high blood pressure, whether you have diabetes, whether you have anxiety, depression, migraines, whatever your medical condition is, five things go on. Five fingers. When you get triggered for your medical condition, your thumb comes down because adrenaline and cortisol, neurotransmitters, and other hormones are released. Those are the chemicals that make your body work. As the buildup begins and they start to increase in their intensity, their strength, your index finger comes down. And when your index finger comes down, that leaves your middle finger to come down, filling up with the adrenaline, cortisol, and neurotransmitters. You're still pretty quiet in this. You don't really start realizing anything until your ring finger starts to come down, filling up with adrenaline, cortisol, and neurotransmitters. And then, once that's done, and now you're hyper vigilant or really realize something's going on, your pinky comes down and forms a fist. This is why people that have anxiety and depression also have anger issues. Why? Because they have a fist. They want to throw it at somebody. When your blood pressure reaches that point, you want to throw your fist because you want to do something. So that's what it looks like with your medical condition. Your five fingers on your hand represent the initial release as it increases in intensity and strength, and you get closer to your fight or flight situation or recognition of your medical condition, your hand closes and you have a fit. And that's when you get mad and you want to hit somebody or take care of your medical condition because you're upset. What does your dog do? Well, your dog is easy. You still have your hand. We'll go back now with the dog, with your service dog, medical alert service dog. You get triggered for the medical condition, okay? And your thumb comes down. But as your thumb comes down, your dog is coming over and trying to get your attention by putting his paw on your foot, pushing you with his nose, scratching at you, maybe even bark at you. And as your index finger comes down and you start to pet your dog, well, your index finger kind of starts to ease up because now you're releasing the oxytocin, serotonin, endorphins, and dopamine that counteract the adrenaline and cortisol. And look, you're counteracting it just as when your thumb was down. Now, that means your your middle finger is not going to come down because of the oxytocin, serotonin, endorphin release, which means your ring finger is not going to come down because you've had this great amount of, you know, oxytocin in your system about 3 to 5 minutes, and your pinky doesn't come down, so it keeps your hand kind of flat. But now your thumb comes up, and you have a full hand. And what do you do when you have a full hand? You wave bye-bye to your high blood pressure. You wave bye-bye to your migraine. You wave bye-bye to the anxiety and depression because you're not being held hostage by those demons of your medical condition. So having that dog gives you the ability to keep your hand open. It's simple. You think about it like that, and it makes a lot of sense. I had a pharmacist that I worked for when I was in pharmacy school that always told me, try to figure out the way that people can understand something a whole lot simpler. It's kind of like with ADHD. Why do they treat ADHD with methamphetamines, things like that, Ritalin, some vapes and things like that? It's because even though it's a speed, it basically causes the slow part of your mind to pick up speed. Go ahead and let the fast part of the mind slow down. Kind of like riding a bicycle. When your foot falls off the pedal slips its all on the pedal. It's going as fast as it can to keep you moving forward. And that medicine, Ritalin and things like that, what they do is take that slow foot and make the slow foot start to move faster so it can get back on the pedal and you can slow down. So by explaining things in a lot easier way like that, it makes a lot more sense of how your dog works. Your medical condition still goes on, but now you've minimized it down to just, oh wow, that was a weird feeling. You still have the memory, but it's a short. So look forward to seeing it because we've got some new whiteboard videos coming out, and this little explanation is also going to be available on the Facebook and also on our website. So it's an easy way to remember it, to explain it to somebody of what you're going through and how the dog works. So thank you for letting me do that. It's taken me 15 years to figure this one out with my hand, and but I had explained it to one of my trainers why we do what we do, and he said, "No, that makes it a whole lot easier to understand." So I decided to share it with everybody. We've got some whiteboard videos for DEI. Damn well earned it. We've got one that's colorized now, and that was a Christmas gift from Tickling Trout over in England, United Kingdom, who do our whiteboard videos. And so I want to thank everybody for joining us today. Facebook Live. Just want to remind that on Wednesday, December 25th is Christmas Day. It's also the first night of Hanukkah that runs through the first night ending January 1st. Kwanzaa begins on the 26th of December and that runs through January 1st. Christmas Day starts on the 25th and ends on the 25th, unfortunately. But we can look forward to New Year's Day on January 1st. And then we'll be back next year with a clean slate. We'll have no applicants on January 1st. We'll have no donations in. We'll have no teams that graduate on January 1st. So we start off every year with a new amount, and that's the way I like to look at things. We begin one year and see how we end up in the year. I want to thank everybody uh, during 2024. I want to thank all the donors that have given their money and time to send me, your notes. I want to thank all our participants, our applicants who applied. I want to thank our applicants who completed their applications and started training. I want to thank our trainers, the clients, their dogs. I want to thank Full of Grace Marketing for keeping the Facebook pages up and our social media going. Everybody there, I want to thank everybody who's associated with TADSAW, new and future donors. Remember, the social impact on the return on your investment of your donation makes a difference every day, every week, every month, and for years to come that you don't even think about. Just like this T-shirt. This shirt saves 2 lives at a time and a whole lot more. And the unfortunate part is they sold out of all the hoodies, but they still have the sweatshirts available. We're going to keep, the T-shirts, the sweatshirts available. So just keep checking the link to the bonfire to go ahead and purchase the hoodie. But they are warm. They're very nice, and we appreciate it because when you buy a sweatshirt, we end up with part of that as being a donation. So keeping you warm helps us keep going every day. Once again, thank you for joining us at That's All Facebook Live during 2024, and we hope to see you and expect to see you in 2025. If you've got any questions, remember, send them in on Facebook, and they'll go ahead and send them to me, and I'll answer. Thank you again. Happy holidays. Everybody stay safe, stay healthy, stay happy. Have a prosperous new year.